schedule released last week. We now know the schedule for the Broncos, Raiders, and the Chargers. We're going to get into each one. We're going to do our way too early record predictions. We also go over each team's schedule release video. The Broncos sucked. Raiders were okay. The Chargers pretty damn good again. Let's go.
Just win, baby.
Welcome into the Third and Thirsty podcast, your one pod stop for Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Kansas City referee, and Taylor Swift free AFC West banter. I'm your host, Alex Bell. I'm representing the Denver Broncos. One of 13 Charger fan. He's a Charger fan. One of 13 Charger fans. Omar Rubio to my left. And then I got Edgar Larios to my right. He is representing the Los Angeles or Oakland or Las Vegas or wherever the hell they decide to play next year Raiders. How are we doing today, boys?
Great.
Yeah. Good. We're going to get into the schedule this week. We're a few days behind, but you know what? We're going to tackle it the only way the Third and Thirsty podcast can. We'll go through all three schedules. We'll do our way too early schedule and record prediction. So we'll get into that. First, we have something really important to talk about, something deep in my heart, something very important to me, and that's the schedule release videos. And we'll start with some of the better ones because the Broncos certainly wasn't that. I think the king of schedule release videos, at least to this point, are the Chargers. That's the only thing they're good at. What do you think, Omar?
Well, again, they knocked it out of the park. Like you said, hey, if we're going to be good at one thing, I mean, Hollywood, at least let it be the movie making part of it. Again, I think they were the best one. The best one in the NFL. They went with the Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft was a little young for me. I had to have my 8-year-old son explain it to me. I thought it was great before, like the first time I saw it. You got some of the subliminal messages that are just kind of obvious, but once my 8-year-old son Nico explained it to me, it was just even better. Got all the deep dive into the Minecraft. He like was cracking up every schedule release, that every next team that came up, it was just better and better.
That's funny. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. A lot of those jokes went over my head. I had no idea what it was referencing to. I'm way too old to. I've never played Minecraft. Same. I've never watched the movie. I'll never watch the movie. I'll never play the game. But they nailed it. I mean, it's something that's super trendy. People know what's going on.
Same. When I watched it, I was just like, yeah, I don't have no idea until I saw that Omar said that Nico helped him. I'm like, damn, I need to fucking go talk to him because I have no idea what I just watched.
Yeah, we should have had Nico on just to break it down, just to give us the ins and outs of the whole Minecraft background to it.
I did have to say, I think the last couple of years, the Chargers were a little bit better. Maybe it's because I understood it a little bit more. The jokes didn't go quite over my head like it did with a lot of the stuff I was watching the Chargers when I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't get that at all. That must be a reference to Minecraft only.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I will bring up I'll explain your guys's. At least the Raiders one.
It was like some weird ass desert dead place or whatever.
No, it started out as like, all right, here's the Kansas City home, big mansion. Here's the Chargers home, big mansion. Here's Denver's home, big mansion, and then the Raiders get a little hut.
Oh, I guess I didn't even notice that. That's funny.
It's a little hut, and it's like just like made out of sticks and mud, and then it was. So that's just first part of it. That's the first game against them. The second game, it goes back to that hut, and he starts like decorating, and it has pictures, just like we see behind us. A picture of Pete Carroll without a shirt on, and then it goes to a quick QR code, and then it like pops out. And then it goes to a picture of a Roomba because they play in the Roomba, the big Roomba, the stadium.
True.
But the QR code, if you scan it, it's super quick. It's like a split second. If you scan it, it goes to, all right, either if you're a Chargers fan, click here. If you're a Raiders fan, click here. If you click on the Chargers one, it takes you to purchase tickets for the Chargers home games. And then
they sure need that. They need to try to get as many tickets out there as they can.
They're cheap too.
We'll get you on. I won't hate on that because that's pretty true. But if you click on the Raiders portion of the QR code, it takes you to, click again. Sorry, something's wrong. Click again. We'll take you this time for real. Click again, scammers. And then click again, and it just takes you to a big L.
Nice. Okay, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. The Broncos isn't as deep into it. In the first part, it just looks like they're just like herding horses. But at the end, it says, "You are now the owner of 53 donkeys." Because they don't call them the ponies, they don't call them the Broncos, they call them the donkeys.
Right.
And then the second part of it, they're still bringing the donkeys with them. They put them in their pens, in their corrals, and then they zoom out, and the corrals are shaped like two L's because they got swept last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so pretty good shots to the Broncos, pretty good shots to the Raiders, pretty good shots at all the other teams that were playing. The Broncos did no such thing. Again, just another year of just a terrible, terrible schedule release video. Anyone in the Broncos organization, the Penner family, George Payton, if you're listening, I'm sure you're listening. Please fire the social media team. They got my hopes up last year with the jersey release video with the Orange Crush. Have a Sertan drive down Larimer Square and walk into the boutique and have it flash back to the 70s and Randy Gradishar, and then playing a bunch of old clips from those games from the 70s and the 80s, and then with Elway wearing those jerseys. I thought maybe they were turning a corner, but no, they certainly didn't. First of all, it's not even in order. They could have made this video like 4 months ago. After
when they announced the opponent.
Yeah, none of it was in order. They didn't cover all of the teams at all. They barely covered the division with the weakest insults ever. For the Chiefs, they said tomahawk chop, tomahawk flop. And then they said poker face plant for the Raiders. And the Chargers are going to need a recharge. It's so lame. Like any 9-year-old on the street could have came up with better jokes. You have a whole year to come up with something that's better than that. You know what's coming. Please do better. It's so embarrassing. Didn't even have all the teams on the schedule. None of it was in order. The worst jokes. I get mutton busting is kind of a Bronco thing. They do it at halftime with some kids. Everyone, so that's cool. If you wanted to go with that idea, just do better.
They probably had those kids choose like the comment afterwards, you know?
Yeah, no, because they would have done better.
No, after they fell off.
No, they would have done better. Terrible. I mean, I have no experience in social media management. I guarantee if you put me in charge of that video, I would do 100 times better. It's so embarrassing that it's so bad every single year.
You get a whole year.
Yeah, right. It's not a surprise. It's not like Roger Goodell drops into Denver every like May 13th. It says, hey, you guys got to come up with something. It's got to be ready in 2 days. No, you have the whole year knowing that the schedule release video is coming up. It's insane that you can not do better than what you're doing. So I've had my rant. Fire the entire social media team. Make sure they never get a job ever again. And the Raiders. Go ahead.
I don't know. the way you explained yours, I was like, damn. I thought ours was pretty bad, but honestly, it's not too bad. It's just a lot of bad acting. But overall, I thought it was pretty clever. It was throwing shots at a lot of different teams. At the Chargers, saying that they don't have a Super Bowl. I didn't really get the Broncos one. It was just a pony walking down the office.
Calling them ponies instead of Broncos.
Yeah. But,
I mean, that's easy, but at least it's something. Yeah. It's better than poker face plant.
Yeah, and then for the Chiefs, it showed like 3 referees in their locker room. They're like, where's our flags? And then all of a sudden, some guys pulling flags out of everywhere.
Those aren't some guys.
So, yeah, those are famous magicians, man.
Yeah, which I'm forgetting their names.
Yeah, that's exactly. I don't know
Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller. Boom.
Another thing, they're like big time in freaking Vegas. But,
yeah, they're big in Vegas.
Yeah. But yeah, then like the one that was pretty funny was that Cowboys one, even though I was like, dude, we got to move on. That when he brought out the freaking
the index card.
Yeah.
So they had some pretty good jokes, man. Yeah. They had former and current players in there. Carroll was in there. A ton of like random actors. Obviously, they weren't very good, but I mean, you could obviously tell that they put a lot of thought into the video and at least put it in order. Figure like that should be number one of at least make it seem like the schedule instead of just a random teams that you're playing and just all slopped together and thrown into shit like the Broncos did.
Yeah, that's what I say. I feel like the Chargers went above and beyond because they doubled back on every team in the division because obviously we play each other twice.
Right.
So they didn't just hit them once; they doubled back for that second time too.
Yeah. For the Raiders, it would show right there. Like for the
Weeks?
Chargers, it would be 2, and I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot what it was
13.
Yeah.
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just go, anyone from the Broncos social media team, just go watch any other team's social media, any other team's schedule release video, and just learn from it. Pick something out of there to make it better. Truly embarrassing way to start the season. So let's get into something that's a little bit more positive for the Broncos, which I think is going to be their record and their schedule. We're going to go through each schedule for each team. The three of us will decide whether it's a win or loss, and we'll come up with some record predictions from the schedule. We'll go through team by team. We'll start with the Chargers. We'll go Broncos, then we'll go Raiders. If you're only interested in one of those teams, I'll make sure to put the chapters in the YouTube description. So just fast forward to that part, and we'll get there. Before we get into it, remind everybody that's watching, please hit the like button on the YouTube page. Subscribe to our page if you like what we're doing. Hit us with a rating on any podcast platform you're listening to. Really helps us out, especially, again, we're getting our feet under us. This is our 9th episode now, so making it further than most podcasts do. Most podcasts actually stop after 3 episodes. So we're doing pretty damn good there. But we want to keep doing this. Only going to be able to keep doing it if we keep growing. So hit us with a like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. Really appreciate it. From the last video, still gaining some traction here, but we do have one comment, and that comment came from our boy Shannon Daly. Obviously, one of the 13 or 14 Charger fans. He kept it simple, said, "Go Bolts."
Yep. He obviously knows the right team to cheer for.
Sure.
Yeah, Shannon, if you listen to the next episode, this episode, let us know how you ended up in that spot, and if you need help.
He's got all the help he needs, man. We're Chargers fans. We all stick together.
Yeah,
Bolt up.
All 14 of you. All right, well, cool. Let's get into the schedule. We'll start with the Chargers. So let's see. We know the first game. We talked about it a little bit last week. And that's that Friday night game against the Chiefs. Tough start in Brazil. We'll start with you, Omar. What are you thinking?
I think it's gonna be a tough game. First of all, it's a division game. All division games are always tough, no matter what point of the season it is. But I like that we're getting them week 1, fresh out the gate. Hopefully, like I said last week, everybody's healthy. Everybody's bringing their best team, and we really find out who's the best team that day. I feel like because it is week 1, and the Chiefs, I feel like, have a little bit more to work out, iron out a couple things, especially on the offensive line. I feel like we're going to get this one. We're going to get this game 1. Everybody's going to be excited. Everybody's going to want to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. Last year, just because first year of Harbaugh, I think it's going to be even better this year. It's going to be a lot more focus on detail. We still had some pretty silly penalties last year. I feel like that's going to get ironed out, and that's what's going to put us over the top. Because last year, both games were close games. So, I mean, it's not a home game, but I mean, either way, it still wouldn't have as many fans at home.
There's no such thing for the Chargers. I do agree the Chargers are going to be better than they were last year, and they're going to be a pretty good team. It's just the way I see this game playing out. It's going to be close. It's going to be fought to the end. And the NFL, they still want to prop the Chiefs up as their team, man.
True.
They have, 5 official primetime games, but I think it stretches to 7 with other games across their schedule. Obviously, the NFL wants them to be good again. And I think at the end of the game, I think that's going to be what we talk about week 1 after our first week 1 podcast. I think it's going to be about whatever call that happened at the end of the game that decided that game. And I think it's obviously going to be in favor of the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs win that game.
So, I mean, I also think the Chiefs might end up winning this game. And the only reason why is because it's Brazil. It's like a long trip. And it's still Patrick Mahomes. I mean, even though, like, that O-line was having trouble last year and might have trouble this year, they were still scoring and everything. I still think that you guys have the defense to stop them and to like at least give them trouble. But I mean, the Chiefs also have a pretty good defense that's going to keep them in it. But I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but something tells me that Patrick Mahomes is going to come out with some shit.
Yeah,
I think we're all hoping that the Chargers win at this point in week 1, because if we all win, that means we all get a game up on them, and that just starts them in the hole. So
fair enough. The way the Chiefs win those games, primetime games, Taylor Swift's there in Brazil. That's the way I see it going. Edgar, do me a favor, pull your mic up to your face a little bit closer. Thank you. So yeah, 2 against 1. We got an L.
all right,
Next game, another tough game. Got to fly home, or actually, no, you're on the road
You're on the
in
road.
Vegas.
it's a
It is
30-minute flight.
It is Monday, so you get a little bit of rest,
Yep.
a little bit more rest. Monday night game against the Raiders.
Yeah,
Another
actually,
primetime game. So
they get 10 days of rest because that first game is a Friday, so technically
Right.
they get 10 days off. That's like a little mini bye, so I feel like they'll be refreshed. Like I said, it's against Vegas, so that's just a 30-minute flight from LA. It's not like it's like they're traveling cross country, losing 5 hours or 3 hours of their time, trying to get adjusted to a different time. So I think that'll be a win, especially early on in the season against the Raiders. Still trying to figure it out with all the new pieces coming in, new coaching, new quarterback. Still trying to figure themselves out a little bit.
Edgar, you want to jump in there before I?
Yeah, I personally I do think that Raiders and Chargers are going to go 1-1 this season, and it was kind of hard for me to decide which game if we would win at home or away. Raiders are still haven't won at SoFi, so I went ahead and said the Raiders are going to win this week. And I could I could be wrong, but the reason why I said that we can win is because you guys are coming back from Brazil, which of course there's plenty of time for you guys to heal up and rest and everything. But I just have a feeling because we have new pieces, but our defense is still the same. Our offense is the only thing that's different, and I personally think that our defenses will be able to, keep us in it. But it would definitely be a pretty close game. I feel like.
I almost feel the opposite. I feel like your offense is gonna, once you guys figure it out on offense, it's gonna be what keeps you in games. I feel like the defense is still missing a couple key pieces. The secondary isn't great. The defensive line is what's gonna defensively keep you in games, but the secondary and the linebackers, safeties, all that.
I'm actually okay. It's I get what you're saying, but for me, it's like that defensive line and the linebackers. It's they're pretty Devin White. I mean, he's really good at getting at the quarterback. And Landon Roberts, he's pretty good at stopping the run. So, and then our defensive line, I just feel like you're gonna be able to get at your quarterback. Jacoby, what's his name? Damn it. I forgot our corner's name. He's coming last year. He was doing pretty good until he got hurt, but he was actually one of the top 6 corners in coverage. But personally, I think, like I said, I do think the defense will keep us in. But like I said, in the end of the day, I won't be surprised if we do end up losing. But I personally think that we're gonna go 1-1, and I think this is one game that we'll be able to come out with as a W.
All right.
Okay, so you're calling that as a W. Okay, so damn, I got a or W. Yeah, I got to be the tiebreaker. That is tough. I feel like the Chargers gonna have a ton of pressure on them if they lose week 1 to win this game. Even though it is on the road, starting 0-2 and then going into Denver, being at home against Denver the next week, I feel like they're going to be prepared. The Vegas Raiders, they're still going to be kind of gelling together with Geno Smith. I think the Chargers win this game.
So 1-1 so far.
1-1, and then next week Denver at we'll call it home, but LA.
I mean, it was pretty close last year as far as attendance. That was probably the closest that I've seen. I mean, that was my first game in person at SoFi, but at least watching from home on TV, usually it's pretty obvious that the other teams got a lot more fans. But I feel like it was at least 60-40. Obviously Broncos fans, 60-40 being Chargers. Um, but I don't know, man. I feel like the beginning part of the schedule we'll be ready for it, and I felt like we were gonna go 3-0 starting off, just because, like you said, it'll be at home earlier on in the season. Hopefully, everybody's still healthy, as long as Edgar isn't doing some black magic over there.
No, I'm gonna go sacrifice the chicken and everything. Watch.
Trying to get our players hurt.
Make it look like a preseason game.
Yeah.
All the backups.
I'll make sure I sacrifice the chicken so we can win the division.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna do it is black magic, man. But yeah, I feel like this is gonna be a win, just because it's a fucking Broncos set.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously going to disagree with you. I think the Chargers start with really two tough games to start this. I mean, two divisional games, both primetime
games.
Yeah, well, I'm talking going into the Broncos.
Oh yeah, going into it, yeah.
So you've already had two divisional games. They're both primetime. On a short week, technically, you've played Monday.
Yeah.
There's no home field advantage for the Raiders or the Chiefs, or excuse me, Jesus, for the Chargers. So I think the Broncos already rolling. They're 2-0 at this point. I think they go into LA and beat the Chargers. So Edgar, tiebreaker.
Yep. I do think I'm going with Alex. I believe that defense is going to give Herbert a lot of trouble. I mean, and then that offense is definitely going to be running down the ball, even though you guys are at home. I look at the Chargers and I just feel like, even though you guys got some players, I don't think you guys got as better as last year. But yeah,
Do you feel like last year we were better than we are this year?
yeah, I feel like you guys lost your like you guys losing that defensive tackle in the middle, Puna Ford.
Yeah.
I feel like he's your. I feel like because you guys lost him, that defense is gonna like take some hits, and then you guys definitely got linebackers in your corners, but when it comes down to a team that's gonna be able to run it and throw it and be really balanced, it's gonna be pretty intense for you guys.
That's funny because before last year, Puna Ford really didn't do much. Like, he had the one good year with Ryan Staley last year. I feel like our coaching is going to be able to get the best out of the pieces that we've brought in. That we brought in the third round, same thing, defensive tackle to try to replace him. Brought in a couple other guys as depth pieces, guys that have been in the league.
Who else do you guys have as pass rushers?
We got Khalil Mack, obviously. We got Tuli Pelotu, who is he's going into his third year, second round draft pick out of USC.
Yeah.
Really good run defense. That's their edge rushers. They might not put as much pressure on the quarterback, but good luck running against them. That's top notch as far as run defense goes. They also got Bud Dupree, who is a little long in the tooth at this point. I feel like he could honestly even be a cut candidate if somebody else better pops up, but we could talk about that later down the line.
Yeah.
But we also drafted in the fourth round Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina. I want to say he was like second or third in sacks last year in all of college. So I feel like, coming in pass rushing downs, he's not obviously going to be a starter as a fourth rounder, but he'll get his spots here and there. So yeah, our defensive line, it'll be solid. It's not going to be something that I feel like is going to be something like to talk about crazy, but I feel like it'll be solid.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just feel like it's still a strong defense. I just don't think it's going to be like last year. So I feel like Broncos are going to be able to move the ball a lot smoother.
So we're starting 1-2.
1-2.
Yep. Pretty tough start. Let's see. So gets a little bit easier for the Chargers. Week 4, they're at the Giants.
Win. Easy. No, nothing else to say about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say win too.
I do think the Giants got better. Obviously they don't have a quarterback, or they don't know who's gonna really start there as a quarterback. Maybe Russell, but Scottaboo's a good running back. Their defense is gonna be pretty good. I'm not saying gonna be like dominant, but I still think you guys will win.
Yeah, be a little bit better, but I think the Chargers are still a much better team. So week 5, Washington Commanders at home. Tough game.
Yeah, and it's even if that's home. We always say Chargers don't really have a home field advantage.
They don't.
And Jaden Daniels is actually going to be a home game for him. He's coming out of San Bernardino County, I want to say. So he'll probably have a lot of fans in the stands. And I feel like that's going to get to him. He might be a little bit nervous. You know, still young in the NFL, so who knows? Might want to do a little too much to try to prove to his family. You know, but I feel like that's going to be a win.
Yeah, sounds like Edgar and I both agree. I think the Commanders win this game. I think that's another really tough game for the Chargers. I think playing in his hometown is actually beneficial for Jaden Daniels. He doesn't seem like a guy who's going to fold under pressure, so I don't know if I buy that. Well, he's going to have to try to impress his family.
The only way I can see him if he's going to do bad if he gets hurt like he did last year.
Damn, stop putting that out there.
Like when he got hurt, like when he hurt his back. Well, it's true. He ended up getting hurt last year.
I know.
When you guys say that the Chargers defense isn't like talk about like it wasn't good, but you guys just forget it was the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL
Yeah,
last
but
year.
you guys were playing like you guys were playing like the easy schedule in my eyes. Because I'll tell you, like I'm being honest. Because look at the Texans. Like 3 years ago, they were like bottom of the barrel. Then C.J. Stroud comes in and they ball out, make it to the playoffs. And then the year after that, people were saying that they took a down year, but it's because they played a tougher schedule.
They also ran out of receivers. They had like 1 receiver who beat the Chargers. Shit.
I was going to say, still beat the Chargers in the playoffs.
Single-handedly.
No, I think the Chargers are going to be good next year, but they got a tough start to the schedule, man. They got 3 divisional games, almost a bye with the Giants, and then a team that was in the NFC Championship, the Commanders. So, worse, we got them sitting at 2-3 now. They got a must-win game, kind of at Miami.
I feel like they'll take care of that. Miami. I feel like Miami's a sinking ship. They're one throw away, one play away from just tanking, and I feel like McDaniels will probably get fired this year. They won't make the playoffs, and if things go a certain way, then they'll be tanking fast. I don't see them making any sort of push.
You agree?
Yeah, I got the Chargers winning against the Dolphins.
Yeah. I do too. I'll keep it short since that's already a consensus. But yeah, Tyreek Hill might already be in jail for beating the shit out of another woman at that point. So all parody. I'm just kidding. Don't sue me. So let's go. Next week, we're going to go to the Colts.
Easy win.
Yeah.
I got Chargers to win, but just because they don't have a quarterback.
They have plenty of quarterbacks.
They have a lot of quarterbacks.
No, they just got
none of them are good. Yeah.
One guy might run out of gas halfway through.
But like their Colts defense is pretty good, but I wouldn't say enough for them to win the game.
Yeah, I think Colts aren't going to be terrible, but they're not going to be as good as the Chargers. I think Chargers win that game. Let's see. Then next week, I got the Vikings at home, quote unquote home.
That's going to be tough. But I feel like that's going to be a win just because McCarthy's old head coach, his old defensive coordinator who knows his tendencies, what he likes to do, practice against him for years. I mean, vice versa, he knows the tendencies that Jesse Minter likes to run as far as the schemes, but different players, different ways to throw things at him. So I feel like that's going to confuse him. I mean, it's later down midway almost through the season, so he might have things figured out, but he's still technically a rookie, never played just in the preseason. So I feel like that's going to be a win for the Chargers.
Edgar?
I have them as a loss. I feel like Vikings have a pretty strong defense and weapons around McCarthy, and So I mean, as long as I feel like their online is going to be, better this year because I don't know if I should say the rest of it because you're going to be like stop. But that's strong. Yeah, that online is going to be strong this year and should give McCarthy plenty of time to either hand off the ball or throw it.
They don't really have too much running game, do they?
Yeah, they got Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, he's okay. He's a good running back, but I don't think anything to put
Well,
them over the top.
last year, I mean that online wasn't that healthy, so that's what I'm saying. This year with a healthy online, they should be good. In my eyes.
Yeah, the Vikings, it's really hard to figure out what they're going to do next year. It all depends on what J.J. McCarthy's going to do, and you have a good point. If anyone knows McCarthy is Harbaugh. It's a short week, so Thursday night game. I think I have to give this one to the Chargers. So we'll count that as a W. Next week, got the Titans on the road.
Win.
A little bit of extra time to prepare.
Yeah, win. There's nothing to say. It's the Titans.
Win.
Yeah, I agree. So got a win for the Titans. Let's mark that down so I don't lose track of what we're doing here. And then we're going to go week 10 home against the Steelers. Looks like another Sunday night game.
I feel like another win just because who's playing quarterback for them?
That's what I put down. A win just because I don't know who the hell the quarterback is.
Yeah, I think it'll be Aaron Rodgers, but at that time, who knows if he's...
And he's only thrown to one guy, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chargers win that game too. I don't even think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, this was easy. Like, as far as the rest of the schedule goes, this was like the soft spot in the schedule for the Chargers.
It
I
is.
feel like if they're going to contend, they gotta eat during this portion of the schedule.
Week 12, they have a bye. Or I'm sorry, excuse me. We
Jags.
skipped week 11, which is the Jags.
I feel like they're just going to want to get that revenge. Even, I think they played them. Did they play them last year? And they beat them, I think. But I think that's still, the players that were there are still going to want to get that revenge. Even if they already did, it's still going to be sitting sour in their mouth. So I think that'll be a win.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Jags have much going for them this year.
Except for saying Duval.
Duval.
Have you guys seen the videos of Travis Hunter having trouble running routes?
I'm not worried about it at this point. He's getting his feet under him. No pun intended. Week 12 is their bye.
Mm-hmm. Finally, after 2 years of a week 5 bye, you get it.
It's nice to get a little bit later in the season. But then, so they get a little bit of extra time to prepare for a divisional game at home against the Raiders.
And because of that, I feel like that's going to be a win, just because of the extra time.
Well, for me, like I said, I had them losing week 2, but for this one, I did have them winning because of that bye.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree. I think Chargers win that game. Now they've riddled off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row. They're on fire. And it's a good time to be on fire. They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles at home Monday night.
I think, what is this, week 13? So
Yep.
out of their last 5
Week
games,
14.
Week 14, out of the last 5 games, they have like, I think I want to say 4 or 5 of them are against playoff teams from the year before. So, I mean, against the Eagles, this is going to be tough. I feel like it's going to be a battle. It's going to be like a knockout, drag-out battle, but I feel like they're going to take the loss on this one.
Okay. Makes it a little bit easier for us. I think they lose too. Eagles are a pretty damn good team. Obviously, They won the Super Bowl last year. Edgar, any different feelings?
No, I feel like they'll take the loss. It'll definitely be a battle to see who makes the less mistakes.
If they ban the tush push, we might got a chance. We might have a chance. So,
But
No, that one lived until at least another season. So
all right, so then never mind.
okay. So we'll go loss, all consensus loss against the Eagles. Week 15 at the Chiefs.
I had them winning the first one, and then this one it's at the Chiefs later in the season. The weather's probably going to play some type of role in it. I was having this one as a loss.
Edgar, what do you think?
I had them going 1-1, but this one was the loss. So.
I also had the Chargers going 1-1, but obviously I said loss for the week 1, so this one I'm going with the dub. I feel like you guys are gonna be already like having things going, so it's gonna be a lot easier easier for this time, even though it's away and the weather might be a little fucked up. But I still think they might come out with a W in this one.
Thank you. Let's go, Alex.
Very
Give
gracious.
Give me a win.
No, I don't share Edgar's sentiment. I think that's a tall order going into Kansas City in December and winning that game.
So
So
you got the Chargers being swept by the Chiefs.
Yep.
Again.
mhm. I do. So that's a tough game. Can't really blame him for losing that one. Not going to win all the ones against the Chiefs. Next week, another 10 o'clock game. You got the Cowboys on the road. Not going to be easy, I don't think.
It's not going to be easy. That's a good team, especially after that trade. I mean, hopefully George Pickens does what every other receiver that leaves Pittsburgh does and just like flames out and takes the ship down with him. Because if that happens, then I'm definitely going with a win. I had this as a loss just because it's at the Cowboys. I expect them to be a much better team this year. Yeah, I had this as a loss.
Edgar?
Well, I have you guys beating the Cowboys. I feel like I said, like with the Chiefs, I feel like your guys' team is going to be running in all cylinders. As much as I know that the Cowboys have changed, got a lot better, I do feel like you guys do have a defense, especially in your secondary, to at least hold them up and be able to give Dak, some pressure with Khalil Mack. Even though I mean, their offensive line, we've heard that they're going to be really good this year, but I've seen like how they go up against top rushers, so hopefully Khalil Mack can do his magic.
Yeah, I have a loss. I think Cowboys are not going to be world beaters this year. I don't think they're going to win their division or anything like that, but I do think they'll be better than they were last year. If Dak is healthy at this point, if Pickens hasn't retired out of anger.
No, I don't think Pickens is going to retire. He's going to have a good season. The only problem is that next year, see how if they're going to resign him or not. That's going to be the problem right there.
Yeah. So I think Cowboys are going to be pretty solid. You're on the road. It's another early game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be a tough one to roll off a win. So I think back-to-back losses there.
That's
back-to-back
3 in a row. Yeah, it's 3 in a row after winning 7.
Going on a skid, and it's not going to get any easier. It's the team that took them down in the playoffs. You got the Texans at home, week 17.
Oh, that's a win. That's a win. That's everybody's been waiting for that one all year long, all off season. That's all they had to think about. So they're going to want this one. So I take that as a win.
I have them as a win too. I feel like the Texans lost Jeremy Tunzel, I think his name was.
Laramie.
It's gonna really give him trouble. I don't think which is the receiver that might be missing this season.
Tank Dell.
And Tank Dell is probably going to be not playing the year. They didn't re-sign any other receiver that I know of, so they're going to have a tough year. So I can see
maybe they can cover Nico Collins this time.
Yeah, I think the Texans will be fine, but I do think the Chargers win that game, especially if they've lost 3 in a row. They kind of need to win that one. Got a big one coming up against the Broncos, week 18. This could be a huge, huge game.
So
it's on my daughter's birthday, so I probably will not be watching live.
So you just ruined Christmas, your daughter's birthday. What else was there?
Well, we thought they wouldn't be playing on my birthday weekend, but they are. But
that doesn't ruin anything.
Well, it's the last 2 weeks of the season. I got it. Christmas is now ruined, and now probably won't be able to watch on my daughter's birthday. So, the last game of the season against the Chargers could be for the division, could be for the last wild card spot, could be for nothing. Who knows?
Could be for seeding.
Could be for seeding.
Yeah. What are we sitting at right now?
Let's see. I'll count the losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I had them with
9-6.
I had them at 11 wins, so this is a win for me.
10-6. 10-6.
Yeah, this is a win for me.
You're just going based off of what you thought the record would be, or do you think they're going to go into Denver in a big game and actually win that?
Both.
Huh.
both.
Okay.
I mean, they swept them last year. Don't see why they couldn't do it again this year.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go. So Edgar could be the tiebreaker. No, I think the Broncos win this game, especially given the circumstances. It could be a huge game. Knock on wood, Patrick Surtain's probably not going to leave the game after the first play like he did last year in that game against the Chargers at home, which it just kind of went off the rails after that. They tried to make a comeback, but it didn't quite pan out. I think the Broncos take this game. Edgar, tiebreaker, what do you got?
Well, sorry about this, Alex, but I got the Chargers going 1-1 versus you guys.
That's fair.
So I see the Chargers winning. At first, I thought it was just because I really didn't think about that it's going to be the last game and like you guys are probably going to be playing for something. But yeah,
that has a lot to do with it too. It all depends on what their record is. We're trying to predict something, but who knows?
Like by that time, Broncos could probably be in, and you guys are probably trying to come in. But
I'm
I don't
just
know.
thinking I had them going 11-6. Same records last year, but a lot harder schedule, as Edgar pointed out. So, yeah, I think that'll get us either close to a division winner, because this is going to be a tough division. We're all going to
1,000%.
have some tough losses. Each game is going to count from game 1 to game 17. It's going to be a hard division, probably the hardest in the NFL, I feel.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so that puts them at 11-6. Right, so
That's pretty much what I had them going. 11-6.
11-6. It's pretty solid. You're growing from last year. They were
11-6 last year, but like I said,
but a tougher schedule.
Yeah, going from a 4th place schedule to a 2nd place schedule.
Yeah.
I feel like that in itself, even though it's the same result, it's a better outcome just because of the harder schedule there was this year.
Yeah, and you guys have like the most traveling miles this year too.
Again.
Did see that.
Again?
Last year too.
Yeah, you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, you gotta expect on the West Coast.
Did you guys play out of the country last year too, or no?
No.
Damn.
No. But we did play against the South, which most of them are basically East Coast. And this year we're going against the East. So,
yeah.
And then throw in a couple games here and there versus teams that are other 2nd place scheduled teams that are on the East Coast, like who else? The Dolphins, so going way out there, that's pretty far.
Yep. Okay. So Chargers finished at 11-6. Pretty solid season. We'll go on to the Broncos now. So Broncos last year went 10-7, wild card team, one and done, got bounced by the Bills. So hopefully this year taking a step forward. Week 1, Tennessee Titans at home. I don't think you guys are going to push back much on saying the Broncos win that game.
Yeah, Titans are going to have a hard season this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be a little bit better than last year. They actually have a quarterback. Who knows if he's going to be good or not, but they have some hope at quarterback position. Will Levis isn't the guy. He has a cool mayonnaise commercial, but not the guy at quarterback. Cam Moore is going to have a really tough game on the road at Mile High against the Broncos defense. That's going to be really tough. So I definitely have that as a win. Sounds like you guys do too. That's pretty easy to chalk in there.
Yep.
Week 2, Colts on the road. I'm going to say the Broncos win that game. You guys put any pushback, I'll explain why. But any pushback?
No. Same thing is not same thing, but in the same line as the game before, where this team is just trying to figure itself out, trying to figure what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, who knows who their quarterback's going to be at that point?
Yeah.
Either Richardson or Jones. I have a feeling it's going to be Jones. I feel like you bring in Jones. What are they paying him? Like $15 million a year or something like that?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for a backup.
So
I think
I
you
also
bring him in.
I feel like they're gonna start him off and then hopefully like try to put in like Richardson, kind of like how they did with Minshew and like fucking O'Connell.
I don't know, man. I mean, they drafted Richardson. If you're bringing in another quarterback and paying him $15 million a year, I think you're kind of saying we're done with this guy.
Yeah, but
So I
like
think
they're
it'll
gonna
be
try to
Jones.
start him, but they're gonna try to like at least put Anthony Richardson in. But
I don't know.
who
I mean,
knows?
If you drafted somebody that high to, I mean, you can pay a backup that much because you're not paying your the guy you drafted
yeah, but why?
any money. Why? For some competition, especially last year, how he asked to come out of the game, how he
What I'm saying is, if you had faith in your quarterback, why are you going to go spend a bunch of money on a backup quarterback to provide competition? What I'm saying is they have no faith in.
Yeah, they
Richardson.
don't. No, they really don't. But the thing is the way
you
I
still
see
gotta
it,
give him a shot.
yeah,
There's no way the Broncos were going to go pay Daniel Jones $15 million a year to bring competition to Bo Nix because Bo Nix is their guy.
Oh yeah, but
So-
that's what I'm saying. Like they still want to at least try to get they want to get the only way for Richardson to get better is playing time. But the thing is so they're trying to give him as much as he can, but at the same time they want something to, like that works. But at the end of the day, they're gonna have to take their loss and just start Daniels.
Yeah.
But I mean I agree with you. Like why do all that? But
Yeah.
you know they're just in a sticky situation.
Sticky situation like that. Yeah, so that's another win for the Broncos. We already went over the Week 3 game with the Chargers. We all said, well, except for Omar, we had the consensus that the Broncos would win that game. Week 4, Bengals, Monday night game,
Ooh.
tough,
I feel like that's a loss.
really, really tough. I'm supposed to go first.
My bad.
But I agree. I think after starting 3-0,
Wow.
I think they can beat the Bengals, and I think it'll be a really good game like it was last year. And I'll be incredibly pissed off when they lose because I think they should win this game because I think they are a better team. I just think Monday night, after starting off 3-0, a tough divisional game, it's going to be really tough. I could just see them losing this game as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, I feel like Joe Burrow is gonna want to show out on prime time, especially keeping all his weapons around. They're gonna be hard to stop this year. They're gonna be a high power offense, probably the number 1 offense in the league. That's gonna be really hard to stop, and that's for Chargers, for Broncos, Raiders, anybody that they're gonna be a hard team to stop.
I will say that I did put a win for the Broncos. And the only reason why is because their defense. I have no idea what they added to their defense. They have a new defensive coordinator. Yeah. Their top rusher is not going to play. He's going to hold out.
He could be if Trey Henderson doesn't play that game, the Broncos win.
So like I can see, like I can see Denver's defense not literally stopping Joe Burrow, but at least limiting points.
It's hard to stop Joe Burrow.
And then so I mean, if it does come down to like last year in that one game where Higgins went off. I have a feeling that you guys might be able to at least get one lucky turnover and just keep the ball and just let the time run out.
I can see it going either way. I put it down as a loss just because the Broncos can't go 17-0 as much as I want to put that down.
Oh, you're not going 17-0. And then next week after that, yeah, you guys are definitely.
Yeah, we'll get into next week. They're at the Eagles on the road, Super Bowl champs. I wanted to say this is the game that the Broncos sneak away and win the game that they don't expect to win, but the Eagles are just so damn good.
I will say like depending
Broncos
how
lose.
each team plays the Eagles this year is going to tell a lot about how each team is doing this year.
I think it'll be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout.
Yeah, like if you guys are really close, it's going to just show how strong your guys' team is compared to a team that's been fucking.
Yeah, I don't think the Chargers are going to get blown out this year by anybody. It's going to be close games.
I agree.
Just the coaching has everything to do with it. Last year they already changed their narrative of like they played down to their competition. And last year they beat all the teams that they needed to beat. They struggled against the better teams, which is, I mean, it was year 1 of the new coach, but I feel like they already changed that narrative of losing to the teams that they should beat.
For sure. So let's see. After losing the Eagles, they'll go across the pond and they'll play the Jets in London.
That's tough.
I think the Broncos win that game. I'm not worried about that at all.
It's just tough. Just time change, the travel, getting used to it, getting your body acclimated.
Well,
I'm not saying
the Jets are going to be doing the same thing. You act like the Jets play in London.
Lose, but I'm saying that takes a toll on everybody, and it could go a certain way. I don't think it will. I don't think they'll lose. I think they're still gonna win because the Jets fucking suck.
Yeah.
But it's still a possibility that, somebody might have a bad game, somebody might not be feeling it, but I still think the Broncos will win that game.
Yeah, I agree. Edgar, what do you got?
Yeah, I have you guys
Just
beating the
shits.
Jets, but it's also the same thing, the traveling and everything, and I just feel like the Jets are going to be pretty strong on their defense this year.
Yeah, the defense will be good.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's gonna be a blowout, but I think the Broncos win that game. Next week, got the Giants at home, coming back from London, 10-19. I have them still winning that game. I think
That's
mostly
week
because
later.
next
Same
week.
week. Usually you get the bye right after.
That's true, but I did read that teams coming off of a London game and playing the next week, you think they'd have a losing record? They're like 12-7. Apparently, it doesn't have a huge difference on those teams that are coming back. You have probably the softest team on your
I
schedule.
was
the
about to say
Giants.
you're lucky you had the worst team.
If Russ is still the starter at that point, Sean Payton's going to want to prove that he was right in making his decision and beating the living shit out of the Giants. I think they show up for this game. They beat them.
I'm gonna call it a loss just because of Russell Wilson.
Okay, why?
Because he's gonna want to prove everybody wrong, just how you think that, and I'm most likely wrong here, but I just feel like it'll be hilarious that Russell Wilson comes back and beats the Broncos.
So you're just hoping, but your
Yes.
heart says yes, but your brain says no. So you're gonna go with a loss. Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna go with the loss because I know you guys are gonna go with a win.
Edgar,
That's why.
you're the tiebreaker.
I definitely have them beating the Giants.
Okay.
But
good.
like I said, like against the Chargers, they're going to have a good defense, and depending on who's the quarterback, which if it's Russell, then we'll see how it goes.
God, I hope it's Russ. If I do go to a game next year, it'll probably be that game, and I
hope
can't.
it's Russ, and I
can't wait
hope
to-
you guys lose. That's gonna be fucking hilarious.
If the Broncos lose that game and I'm in attendance, I'm never going to a Broncos game again because they always lose when I go to the game.
me and Edgar are gonna go live and just be like, "Hey, Alex."
I wouldn't put it past them, but I have it as a win. So that's another win. Going into the next week, Cowboys on the road, or I'm sorry, Cowboys at home. I think that's a win. I think Cowboys are going to be better this year, but I think the Broncos have the secondary to hold down whatever they put out there. If Pickens is on the team still or not, I think the Broncos have the defense to stop that, and the offensive playmakers now to put up some points. I think they beat the Cowboys. What do you guys say?
I have them as a win too. I feel like your guys' defense is just, I mean, your secondary is, like you said, is perfect to go against those two receivers. Pretty much shut them out. And then I just don't think Cowboys, I mean, they have a good rookie running back, but time will tell. So, it depends on how the running back is. If it's good this year, then, they might do good this season, but I don't know. Right now, I'm just don't think they're gonna be a good team, but not gonna be like all crazy.
This one was tough for me. Doesn't matter because you guys both already had
Right.
it as a win.
Go
It
and
was
throw
tough
your
for
2
me.
cents.
I went back and forth on this one, and I had it as a loss just because of the pass rush for the Cowboys. I felt like that might have given Bo some trouble. Michael Parsons coming after him from different positions in the field, kind of always having to keep an eye on him. I felt like might have given him some trouble. It went back and forth, like I said. So it wasn't like I fully believe the Cowboys are going to win this one. I feel like it could have gone either way, but I had it as a loss.
Fair enough. Yeah, it'll be tough, especially seeing how the Broncos running back group is able to block guys like Micah Parsons. So we'll see. But I think we got it here as a win. Next week doesn't get much easier. They're on the road against the Texans. Early game. Broncos history says they're not very good. Early games, they're on the road. Tough team. Can't win 17 games. I think this is one of those really tough games that they end up dropping.
Against Texans?
Yeah.
I have you guys winning.
Okay.
Same thing. I feel like Texans this year like lost a lot of pieces, and I just don't really see their offense being as good as they were last year or the year before.
I don't think they need to have the whole offense do good. I just sorry, but to bring up old memories, but I feel like one person can beat the Broncos.
True,
Jerry
but
Jeudy.
I just feel like
Yeah.
Because if you and if like I've had the same thing happen to the Chargers happen to with the same team with Nico Collins. Nico Collins like pretty much single handedly beat the Chargers on offense. I
But-
feel like he could do the same thing that Jerry Jeudy did.
I just
to
feel
them.
like their offensive line couldn't block him. He took the most sacks last year, and they just got rid of their best left tackle. So I mean,
Yeah,
like that's why like against the Chargers or against the
That's a good
Broncos,
point.
like he's gonna just get harassed all
I
game.
get what you say with taking sacks, but a lot of them is he's trying to like extend plays, and you give them more time, of course they're gonna get to you, you know. So I feel like a lot of the times he's trying to extend plays because of that, because he's trying to scramble and try to get people time to get open. I mean, I get you what you're saying, but I don't think it was all the O line last year. I feel like it was just a lot of the him scrambling.
Okay, I'm gonna change my mind here just because Omar said some really stupid shit.
Because I said Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, you're gonna reference a game where the Broncos were down a corner and had a practice squad corner playing against them.
Could be the case at this point of the season.
It could be, but you're really hoping for that. Nico Collins against Patrick Surtain. Give me a fucking break. Surtain dominates that. It's not like whoever the hell the Chargers corner one is. Obviously, isn't Surtain. So yeah, no, Broncos win this game. So we're going with the win. Thanks, Omar, for changing my mind. Next week, short week against the Raiders at home, Thursday night football.
They had a wait. Oh,
Week 10.
never mind. I
Yeah.
thought it was. I thought they had a bye before that.
No, not yet. Week 10, short week. Raiders. Raiders are going to be a better team this year. I'm not denying that. But I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Broncos at home. So I'm going to take this as a win.
Yeah. I
Go
have them
ahead,
as a
Edgar.
loss, too.
Okay.
Same.
Sweet. So another win for the Broncos. Sweet. Week 11. Broncos. Oof. Tough one. Chiefs at home. I'm going to say the Broncos split with the Chiefs this year and take the one at home. So this is their home game. They've got a little bit of extra time to prepare for them, obviously, with the Thursday night game before. Those extra days of preparation, Peyton puts a game plan together and beats the Chiefs at home. Big game.
Yep. I have you guys as a win at home, but a loss at away because
Okay.
it's pretty late in the season and weather and all that shit.
Yeah, I had the same thing, 1-1. I feel like this will be a win.
Okay. Love it. Next week is a bye. So Broncos get to recover from a tough divisional game against the Chiefs, take a bye,
On
and
a
then
Thursday?
No. They play Sunday against the Chiefs,
Oh,
but
coming off a Thursday. Okay.
so they've got a lot of rest time
Yeah.
with just the one game in between. Next week they're going after their bye. They go against the Commanders. Commanders do have a bye the same week as well, 12. So both teams are going to have that extra preparation for each other. Sunday night football, just like I predicted, I thought the Broncos would be on prime time against Commanders with Bo and Jaden. I think Sean Payton's really going to be in his bag in this game. Sean Payton's obviously put his claim in on Bo Nix, made him his guy. If there's anything that Sean Payton loves, it's being right. He wants to make sure that everyone knows that he made the right decision in selecting Bo Nix. I think the Broncos put it together and win this game against Commanders. I feel like you guys aren't going to agree with me, but that's how I feel. I think they win that game. Omar's already shaking his head no.
I feel like he's gonna take a loss. It's gonna be a really good game though.
Yeah, I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to want to prove why he was the top quarterback in the class last year.
It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be a good game, but I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to prove why.
Sunday night football.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's going to tell Sean Payton, like, the only reason you took him is because you didn't you couldn't take me.
Hey, he could be right. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Jaden Daniels might have been higher on the board, but he wasn't falling to 12.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game. I'm sure we'll all be watching it right here on the couch, the black couch. Week 14, that's against the Raiders on the road. I'm sorry. I think the days of the Raiders beating the Broncos are over. I have the Broncos going on the road, beating the Vegas Raiders again. Vegas? Yeah, okay. Not Oakland, not Los Angeles. Okay, Vegas.
Any
Yeah.
West Coast cities, all right.
Sacramento. I don't know.
We own it
Where
all.
these Oakland teams are playing
We're,
nowadays.
we're all West Coast. It's cool. We on the West Coast.
Yeah, I guess
Not even on the coast.
Yeah, you want to call the Vegas West Coast, but okay. Edgar?
I almost a win. I really do believe that Raiders can go 1-1 with the Broncos.
So you have the Raiders as a win.
Yeah.
The Broncos lost. Okay. Omar? Tiebreaker
This is tough.
at Vegas.
That's the only reason why
Broncos just came off a loss Sunday Night Football against the Commanders.
on a not short week, but off of a primetime game. I got it as loss in Vegas. I feel like Vegas is going to be grasping to something just like they did last year, putting them in a worse position in the draft, and I feel like they're going to make a mistake and win this game.
That's a funny way to put it.
It's
Okay.
cool. I win money.
But no, do you get it though? Like, I think at this point, like Vegas is just gonna be grasping at air. They're gonna trying to be coming out of the quicksand, trying to take a breath, and just
Totally.
if they're not gonna live, they're gonna take the Broncos down with them. At the end of the day, I feel like it's gonna be a loss,
Like a
It's
tremor.
Gonna be some way somehow. It's gonna be super weird. Something's gonna happen where.
Yeah, fair enough.
Where the Raiders win somehow. I don't have much faith.
I'm gonna sell my soul, bro. That's how we're gonna win.
He sold his soul
For one fucking
for
game.
injuries on the team.
For one game, bro. I'm gonna sell my soul.
All right. Well, I guess we'll put it down as a loss then. Next week is not an easy game. Packers at home. Before we had this discussion, I said that it's probably a loss for the Broncos. So I'll just stick with it. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think I'll play it close. But again, Broncos can't win 17 games.
Where's this game again?
It's at home.
Home.
At home? Damn. I think I got the Broncos here.
I have them as a loss too.
Okay.
I had the Broncos in this one just because it's at home.
It's going to be – I could go either way.
Yeah, because the weather's not going to play a factor because they're both used to playing, outdoors in the cold.
Yeah.
They're both going to have it all depends on what the Broncos running game is.
For me, it's gonna be which defense plays the best at that point.
I feel like it's up to the Broncos if their running game is what they're hoping it is with a rookie running back, then
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because like if Broncos defense ends up like slamming down Josh Jacobs, they have a chance to beat the Packers.
For sure.
But if if the Packers defense is also like doing pretty good, then it's gonna be back. It can go back and forth.
Yeah, fair enough. So mark that down as a loss. Next week, Jaguars at home. I got that as a win. I don't think we need to.
Yep.
It'll be fun. Travis Hunter will come back to Colorado to lose. Week 17, that's the Christmas game against the Chiefs. I've already said it. That's a really tough one. Can't have the Broncos winning that game on there. At least the
not
early
on
prediction.
time, same thing.
I'm sure when the game comes up, I'll be saying the Broncos are going to win. I'll guarantee it, all this shit. But going into the season, that's a tough one.
Yeah, have his loss.
Yeah, Edgar.
Well, actually, I had it as a win, but
Ooh.
I mean, the thing is just that I feel like towards. Huh?
It's just like you can't change your mind now.
Yeah, true that. But I did have it as a win. I feel like I said, I still think that your guys' defense is going to be able to, give Patrick Mahomes freaking trouble.
All this time, I guess I could wait to talk about this, but I just feel like this is the right time. Out of all these times, you're saying that the Broncos defense is going to be so good,
It will.
but the Chargers defense was better last year. We've only lost one guy, and we brought in like 3 different players to try to fill in that gap.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, the reason why I see it is because they didn't really lose players. They added more top talent, and
Man,
you
we
guys
lost
and you
one.
guys didn't really add that much talent to your defense. I'm not saying that your guys' defense is gonna be straight up ass. It's just in my the way I see it is that if you guys would have added more talent to the defense, I'll be like, okay, like you guys are gonna be fucking legit. But which I still think you guys are gonna be a good defense, but because you guys lost some not like key pieces, but a couple pieces, and you guys brought in players that can be or whatever. That's the only reason. But I mean, I could be 100% wrong, and you guys might not even skip a step.
Yeah, I just feel like you're just like raising up his defense. Like they got way better. I mean, they did get new pieces, good pieces that have done better. Well, not better, but good with their previous teams. But
But
there's no
and then watching
guarantee that it's going to translate into the new.
but and
scheme.
also like I did watch a lot of Broncos football, and like they were pretty good like against the run, and like they were good against the pass. So even I don't know the freaking pass rusher, but like they were getting after the quarterback against the Bengals. They went toe to toe. Like now, I will say this: like if you guys get to the playoffs, that's where I think both teams are going to be struggling because I feel like you guys didn't add enough on your offense. But let's just hope your guys' defense could like win you guys those games.
Okay. Well, that puts the Broncos third and thirsty prediction at 10-7, one game behind the Chargers.
Yeah. I honestly had you guys. I feel like the Chargers and the Broncos are going to be neck and neck.
That would put them neck and neck, 11-6, 10-7.
Yeah, but I feel
my
like
my
either
personal
way,
is,
I could go one game one way, one game the other way.
I have the Broncos winning more than 10 games, but these motherfuckers slowed us down. So putting the brakes on my expectations a little bit. So 10-7 for the Broncos.
I actually have both of you going 10, 11, and 6.
Okay. So it's Omar.
I had us there too. No, I had us there. It just might have been one game here and there where we disagreed. So, but I had us right around there. Double-digit wins for both teams.
It's gonna be a really tough division.
10 and 12 for both teams, I feel.
Real tough division. Okay, so the Raiders. What was their record last year?
4 and what was the other fucking
4 and
12?
forever.
Damn, super trash. They're hoping to get a little bit better this year. They start off not necessarily an easy game. They're on the road against the Patriots. Edgar, what do you think?
I have them as a win. I believe that there's a lot of new pieces on their offense and defense. There's going to take a time for them to like glue together, especially McDaniel's like confusing ass scheme. So good luck for Mac Jones. Wish you the best. But New England does have a pretty good defense, but I mean, it depends because last year they just were not doing it. So I have the Raiders as a win.
Omar?
Yeah, same. Even though I just feel like you guys both hate McDaniels, so they're both gonna go with a loss based on I fucking hate McDaniels for both of you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd say the Patriots are going to win that game. But if you guys both have a W, then we got a W for the Raiders here. Week 1. Next week, we already talked about. Got the Chargers. So we already had that as a loss for the Raiders. Week 3.
I think it's going to be
Commanders.
It's going to be a loss.
At Commanders.
It's going to be a loss.
Yeah.
But for me, it's one thing that with these type of games is I like to see how our team is doing. So, I mean, if we can make it competitive, I'm okay with it. As long as it's not a blowout, then I'm just like, what the hell is going on with this team?
I mean, this might be a blowout. It's they're pretty good on offense.
I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. But as long as we can keep it close, it's cool with me.
So another loss.
Yeah, we have that as a loss for sure. It's not going to be an easy game. Then at home against the Bears. Edgar?
It's not going to be an easy W, but I think they're still going to come out with a W. They do have a good head coach, especially offensive mind, and their defense last year was pretty good. But I still think with it being home, our defense is going to be able to keep Caleb Williams in check, and our offense is going to be able to do what they need to do to make that W.
Omar?
This is tough. Both teams weren't very good last year. I just feel like the Bears have a little bit more upside. So I'm going to say the Bears take this one.
Yeah, I agree. Both teams have improved. I think Caleb Williams might be unlocked a little bit this year with some competent people running the team. So
Yeah.
I think I got the Bears winning that game. So
It's good. It'll probably be, this one is a lot harder than I think most other games in your guys' schedule. I think this is like two more even teams where as far as one team is not much on paper much better than the other. I feel like it's very even keeled at this point for both teams.
yeah, both teams suck ass. The Raiders
Suck a little bit more.
Yeah, coming out a little shittier. Next week, early game against the Colts on the road.
W. I feel like same thing. Defense is. I feel like the Colts defense is okay, but that offense, there's not really. I mean, they do have Jason Taylor. That's the only thing that's going to worry me. But I feel like we have the players to be able to stop the run.
Yeah, Taylor hasn't been the same in a couple of years. He had that 1 year where he just jumped off the map and did godly things, but I think he's come back down to earth a little bit more. So I feel like this is a win for the Raiders.
Fair enough. I'm on the ropes on the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence on this one.
I'll get you on the ropes.
Yeah. On the fence on this one. I'll go with all right, sure. Raiders win that one. I don't think it's gonna be an easy win, but I think they win that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be easy to win either. I think this is gonna be a hard fought win, but they'll win it.
Week 6, Tennessee Titans at home.
Another win. I just don't feel like Titans are going to be as good as they're not going to just turn around the team that quick. So
I have it as a win as well. Just better coaching for the Raiders is going to give them wins against shitty teams.
It's a fair point. Yep, we'll go with the win. Week 7 at the Chiefs.
I have them as a loss.
Yeah.
Loss.
Loss. Edgar, you have anything to add to that?
No, I have it a loss, but I mean we've played them really good the last couple of seasons. So
Yeah.
I mean, I still have it as a loss. I like I said, I feel like we're gonna go 1-1 with every divisional opponent, but at home, I feel it'll just be a loss.
Okay. Week 8 is a bye for the Raiders. And then week 9, get a little extra time to prepare for the Jaguars at home.
Win against the Jaguars. I feel like last year we were able to beat them with less, and this year we got better. So
Yeah, I think the Jaguars are a very good team. Trevor Lawrence is a fraud. I think that's a W for the Raiders.
Yeah, this is another one of like 3 teams that are worse than the Raiders in the league. So yeah, loss.
Okay. Week 10, we already covered with the Broncos. That was a win for the Broncos, loss for the Raiders. Week 11 is the Cowboys at home, Monday Night Football, 5:15.
I put that as a loss. I did put a question mark in the end of it, but I put a loss.
You said loss? No, yeah, it's a loss.
Yeah, I agree. That's a loss for the Raiders there. Next week, got the Browns at home.
W. I feel like the Browns have some decent weapons, but they just I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. It could be Shador, it could be anybody, but we'll see.
I don't know. Their defense is really good.
They have
Their
no
running
run-
game is historically good. Yeah, they lost Nick Chubb, but
Who is their running back?
Couldn't even tell you.
I have no idea. But I mean, even then, their running game has always been good.
It doesn't mean it's going to be good this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know who's the running back this year.
That's true. Now that you say that you don't know who the quarterback and the running back, yeah, I'll have to change. I honestly have this as a loss for the Raiders. I think I might have to change this to a win.
Yeah, the Browns are very good. Plus, bitch ass Jerry Judy plays there. So we'll go for a win. So week 13, we already talked about that. That's at the Chargers. And yeah,
14 played Broncos.
we went loss for the Raiders there on week 13.
Eagles.
Week 14, got the Broncos. We already went over that. For some reason, we decided that was a Raiders win. So we'll go with that, I guess. Next week, 15 at the Eagles.
That's a loss.
Yeah.
For sure a loss. Week 16 at the Texans. Another tough game.
That one, I'm 50-50, but I'm just going to go with the loss. I still think, like I said, I think it's a winnable game just because what I said before. But I still think the Texans have a pretty good defense. So I'll probably say a loss just because of that.
Yeah, their defensive line is pretty stout. They can really get after the quarterback, really push back that offensive line. And since you guys have a couple new offensive line pieces that are projected to start, I mean, it is further down the line in the season, but I still feel like that defensive line for the Texans is really good.
I mean, hopefully, if they're still playing for something, then yeah, it's going to be definitely hard.
That's why I bring up like later down the line in the season, but I still think that defensive line for the Texans is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so loss. And then week 17, Giants at home.
This is a game that I'm hoping to be there for. A couple of years ago, we ended up winning, so I'm hoping that we win again. But like I said, the defense is a little bit better. Their offense they definitely have a running back now and a receiver, but who knows what their quarterback is.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart might be the guy at this point.
Why not?
Yeah, I have the Raiders winning this game.
What's their record at this point that we have?
The Raiders have lost 8 games going into this. That makes them 7-8.
I was about to say
7-8 going into this game.
I have it as a win, just because I don't think Pete Carroll's going to want to lay down just for an extra higher draft pick. Last year, it might have saved Antonio Pierce's job if he would have lost a couple extra games.
It wouldn't have saved his job.
I think the Raiders are fully committed to an actual coach.
Yeah, I think they're just better than the
So
Giants.
either way, whether he wins, loses, they're going to keep.
Yeah, regardless of what would have happened last year, we were still going to end up getting a new coach.
No, I'm saying this year with Pete Carroll, whatever happens, it's you guys are going to write him out no matter what. It'd be stupid not to, honestly.
Oh, I personally do think that we're going to end up. He's going to coach all 3 years. They might extend him if he wishes to continue coaching, but
he's still alive.
I'd say he's old. He's a little older, but
if he still wants to coach,
he acts young, so I get it.
But the good thing about him that I like is that he knows a lot of coaches he can bring in. So like, even if he wants to step down, like there's coaches that can just take over.
The Chargers blocked the wide receivers coach from getting an interview with them, which is big because he was his wide receivers coach in Seattle and coached DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. So I was kind of glad to see that. A lot of these times, head coaches want to keep their coaches under them around only because they don't see like a better fit for them going forward. If it's a better opportunity for assistant coach going somewhere else, most head coaches will be like, go for it, you know. But I think this one, because it was just like a lateral movement, he's gonna want to get interviewed for the same position that he already had with the Chargers. He kind of nixed that whole request.
True. Okay, so we have that as a win for the Raiders, right? 17, yeah. I said Giants. Next week.
Than I thought. They were a lot better already than I thought they would be.
Yeah. Next week, Chiefs at home.
I have them as a W because I feel like the Chiefs might either be in already and rest their players, or they just probably not playing for anything. So
I disagree. I think this is going to be a really tough year for the division. I think the Chiefs actually have to play week 18 this year, unlike last year. And I think the Chiefs playing for either seeding or
The
even,
division.
who knows, even make the playoffs and win the division. I think they have a lot riding this week. I think the Chiefs win.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck y'all. Then. I'm just kidding.
So what does they got the Raiders at?
That's 9
8
losses. So
8 and 9.
Yeah, 8 and 9.
That's
I
a
don't
lot
mind-
better than
I don't mind that
thought.
at all.
That's a lot better than I thought, honestly.
I don't mind that at all.
So yeah, we have the Raiders at 8 and 9, Broncos at 10 and 7, and the Chargers at 11 and 6. So
What do we? I mean, we got a couple minutes. So we want to run through the Chiefs schedule,
I don't know what their Chiefs schedule looks like.
and then if we can, I mean, real quick, nothing. We won't get into too much depth in it. Just a quick win or loss, and I mean, obviously we know game 1 of the schedule is against the Chargers. We already got that as a loss, according to 2/3 of the Third and Thirsty podcast. So
And half of America.
half of America, the 12 people watching us.
Okay, Chargers.
We
have
got that as a loss already.
No, we picked the Chiefs, didn't we?
Yeah, we picked the Chiefs
picked
on
the
that
Chiefs.
one.
That's what I'm saying. We got that as a loss for the Chargers.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
we're going. Yeah, now we're talking about the Chiefs. So it's a win at the at home against the Eagles.
That's a loss.
Loss. Win against the Giants. That's 2 wins.
2-1.
Versus Baltimore, that's another loss.
Yeah, 2-2.
Okay, so it's still 2 wins. At Jacksonville, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Detroit, I say they win.
To the win against Detroit, I feel like that's a loss.
Okay, so 3 wins.
3 wins.
Versus Vegas, we already said that was
I mean, a loss
that
to
was
a
the
win.
Raiders, yeah.
yeah, we're talking Chiefs. So
Sorry.
Yeah, okay,
Keep thinking
so-
of our teams because we
Okay.
hate the Chiefs.
so 4. Versus Washington.
Loss. I'm going to say loss.
Okay.
I say win.
I say win too. That's 5. At Buffalo,
Loss.
loss. Okay,
That's
it
2.
doesn't matter.
That's,
Okay.
That's all that matters.
At Denver, we already said the Broncos are winning that game. Indianapolis, they win that game, right?
Mhm.
So that's 6 wins. At Dallas, they win that game. 7. No?
I think so.
Yeah, that's 2.
It doesn't matter then. What I say.
Versus Houston, that's a win. So that's 8. Any objections? Versus the Chargers, what did we say for that?
I think we had that as a win because you guys had that as a win and I had it as a loss. I think both of you guys went.
Because I said win and win, 1-1 for almost everybody. So
Yeah, so I think you went.
So did the Chiefs win this game or not?
I guess not.
Okay, so still they're stuck at 7 wins, I think. 8 wins.
8 and 5.
Okay. And then at Tennessee, that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Versus
9,
Denver at home, we said that was a win, and then Vegas,
10.
that's a win.
11.
So they're going to be 10 and
11.
10. No, hold on. They're going to be 10 and 5 before they play the Raiders. So
And then they win.
11.
So they win. That's 11.
Yeah.
Okay. 11 and 6 for the Chiefs. 11 and 6 for the
Damn.
Chargers. 10 and
10 and
7 for the Broncos.
Wow. I that could go either way. All teams could be even. All teams could be 1 off, except for the Raiders. They're going to be like 5 off. But
Yeah, those top 3 teams is going to be
Yeah.
pretty damn close.
hey, but that's a lot better than I thought for the Raiders originally. Before the draft, I think we had them at like 5 wins tops, 4 or 5. So now,
mean, when I
now
first
we
saw
got
the
them at
schedule-
7. That's a big improvement.
When I
I
first
feel.
saw the schedule, I only saw the Commanders loss. And that's with the Bears. You guys picked the Bears as a loss, but I honestly think we can win that game. But so I mean that any of these schedules can literally change with just any
yeah.
of those wins. But
And
Yeah.
and then all of our teams rosters aren't set. Like the Chargers last year picked up guys in the during training camp, at the end of training camp, when players got cut. There's always moves to be made up
yeah,
until
I heard
the first game of the season.
I've been hearing that the Raiders might be picking somebody else up, but they're gonna wait until like OTAs are over because
Whoever you pick up at this point is probably not going to be the huge differences in wins and losses. So, what do we have on paper right now is what we're thinking at this point.
I mean, last
At
year
least 2 playoff teams. If the Broncos could sneak in with 10-7, that's 3.
the Chargers last year picked up J.K. Dobbins after the draft, way after the draft. So there's still good players to
Okay, it happens, but it's
come
just not
about,
super
and they
different,
also traded for Elijah Molden, who was a big key piece in their secondary. I
the
mean,
one player that I'm still surprised nobody's picked up, and I'm hoping that's the player the Raiders pick up is Justin Simmons.
Justice Simmons won't be a Raider.
No, you're just hoping he won't be a
well,
Raider.
same
I
thing
just
with
don't think he
Stephon
will
Gilmore. I mean, he's a little older, but he still puts up numbers. You know, he's still
Yeah,
can
and that's
cover
another
guys.
player that Raiders were thinking
Yeah.
because they're also saying Asante Samuels, but he got like neck surgery.
Yeah, Asante Samuel, he's a good cover guy. He's not a good tackler. I won't say anything bad about him because I did love him when he was on the team. He made a lot of good plays. He just his tackling was always an issue. But as a
Okay.
cover guy, he's a great cover guy.
Okay.
As long as he can cover.
Well, let's wrap this up. We're like an hour and 20 in. So let's wrap this up. That was a fun episode. Something actually happened last week that we're able to talk about a little bit here. So, where we're looking at it, another 3 teams are making the playoffs next year. With the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, the Raiders are on the outside looking in again.
Improving though.
Yep, improving. It's going to be a really fun year. These teams, this division is going to be really solid. So, until next week, we'll get into something else. Who knows what we're going to get into?
If you have any ideas, don't be afraid to leave a comment.
Hit us, and we'll read it next week. But until then, cheers.
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 Yeah.